Welcome to our podcast, Truth Bombs Podcast. Did she really say that? I am one of your co-hosts, Chef Katrina.
And Heidi Muma.
And we're here today to really talk about the power of events, especially retreats. So one of the things that we've been looking at inside the Academy is really putting together workshops and retreats that honored being a female. And so we've been at work, I will say this, the traditional way we've been taught how to put together business retreats and events has been really at hotels. So I've never been a fan of the hotel experience, to be honest. Have you?
No, it's very sterile, very overwhelming even in that environment.
Yeah. So when we talked about putting together this retreat for women, what were some of the things that you were looking for? Because I know you've been kind of tasked with locations and things like that. So what's been some of your experiences in finding locations that really suit and are made for women?
Yeah, so I mean, really what I've been looking for is places that create an experience. Not just a place where you're going to go and get a lot of information, which you're gonna, but at the same time, what kind of experience are you going to have? What kind of, not necessarily just activities for the sake of having activities and fun, but things that really, I think, help women to just unwind and have a different experience than you typically do at home. Something that a hotel provides per se. And it's like, and I've been seeing, and it's like, and I love joining different groups and things that talk about different places that people go, different experiences that we have, and just something that helps us to, I don't know, curate the more feminine side of what we're talking about, and just help you to unwind and help you to experience something that's different outside of the norm, but also provides the environment of learning, the environment of breaking down some of the walls that we have up that are harder to, I guess, get through in a hotel environment. I love things that get us out in the nature, get us out of. What are you doing?
I guess sound is being an issue, so I want to just make sure that we do have sound in that everything is working correctly.
Yeah. So I think it's like some of the places that we've been looking at, have things like just like nature walks, curated nature walks, or like even a fire pit. Because I know there's something about, I was like, where my family gathers at a place up in Massachusetts, and we call the fire pit is like, what do they call it? The truth all?
Yes.
Like the tell all. And it's like things like it encourages conversations that aren't always as easy to have when you're just sitting inside on couches or in conference chairs or something like that. But when you sit down and get around a fire pit, I don't know, it's like it kind of encompasses, or that's not the word I'm looking for, but brings together people, and conversations open up more easily for some reason.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us as women too, there is a missing in a lot of the retreats and the events that we go to. They're so analytical. They're so about getting information to you and getting you to take action in this productivity phase, I think, in a lot of it. And the one thing that we really wanted to introduce back to women again was bringing back that creativity, bringing back that fun and play that is super natural for us as women, but is often missing from the structure that we're given. So, I mean, I've been into multiple workshops over the years. I've even hosted traditional workshops where it was all about like the next thing. It was exhausting, honestly. By the end of it, you just didn't know where to turn or where to go, because you left with so much information overload that the implementation of it for most women especially was overwhelming. It's like I would leave that really robust, energetic space only to turn around and struggle with how to implement this into my day-to-day life, especially, working with the family. For those of you guys that were having children and that, it's how do you possibly manage all that information that you're given in these business workshops and in these labs and start implementing it in smaller bites. So one of the things we looked at as we were designing Reimagine Business for the female entrepreneur, the retreat is really set up to blend together both the implementation of business, and then from there, like, how do you add the play? How do you add the rest? What does it look like? What does time look like for women? How do you schedule your month? How do you schedule your week? How do you schedule your day without the overwhelm, without the burnout? So that was one of the things that we really had to dive into as we started designing this retreat, is that we wanted you to walk away with a tangible experience of not only reimagining and redesigning your business over the next 3 days with us, but then really honoring what it is to be a female in business. So it wasn't just a series of, oh my gosh, we have all this to do in a short period of time. What we looked at is, how do we reimagine, how do we redesign a retreat for women, a business women, so that they connect with each other, right? Really honoring that connection, spending time in real talk. Because one of the things I've discovered over the years is that the moment you introduce a guy into the conversation, and there's nothing against this whatsoever, I think there's a place and time for that. But I know for women, when the moment you set up a guy in the room, the conversation changes.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we see it over and over again. We attend a monthly breakfast. And when it first starts off as women, we have one level of conversation. The moment a guy steps into the room, the conversation completely shifts. And we stop talking about what's important to us because we don't want to offend, hurt, or they just don't understand us. But I think that's where we need to look at, what is it that women are dealing with in the business world, and where can we really have those open conversations. It's really important that we look at, what is the structure? What is the business? What are we doing? And I think when you looked at what are we doing for locations for this, it really was, okay, let's build that community. Let's really look at what women look for in business training.
Yeah, and also I think it's like when we're looking at these different event places and what comes up, and it's like, what I also was like, I want, when they leave the retreat, what is their experience going to be? Is it going to be like, because I know so many times when I've left retreats, it's like you talked about, it's like, how do I implement this? And I think it's like when you leave this environment that's so amped up with all of this information that you're flooded with, you go home and it's like, it's kind of like this almost letdown, because it's like you're not in that same conversation. The people you're surrounded with at home didn't experience what you experienced. But so when I'm looking at these places, it's I want the women to leave feeling refreshed, feeling more like I think one of the names that we came up with for a 1-day retreat was about ignite your spark, remember your spark. And it's like, how do we leave the retreat and go back to our everyday life renewed and refreshed and re-energized, not de-energized?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the experience that I would want women to experience, is that renewal of their energy, not depletion of their energy.
Yeah. And I think it's so interesting too, when you talk about like doing a business retreat, everyone thinks there's like this constant, like ongoing productivity.
Yes.
Right. So like the moment you step in, you're on. And what I love with what we've designed inside of Reimagine Your Business for that retreat is that it is more about finding your center as a female in your business.
Yeah.
And I know that there's so much information that we share inside here at the Truth Bomb Academy around, okay, what is it that we're looking for? How do we move our business forward? And so really the location was important. We didn't want to do it in retreats anymore. We didn't want to do it in spaces that felt institutional, I guess is the word I'm going to use.
That's a good word.
Right? And really look at, okay, how do we bring that creativity back? And even as we're going through Unlocking My Millions right now, and it's open to everybody, so you can actually jump in right now to Unlocking My Millions. One of the things that we started implementing was creative moments throughout the business training, because we recognize that that's what women need, because we are so turned on. That sounded weird. all the time.
Did she really say that?
I really say that, yeah. We're so turned on all the time to be in this constant super mom mode, right? This perfection mode. Like, in order to have it all, we have to be it all. Mm-hmm. And so really, when you get into this type of business training, it's about slowing down so you can speed up, but doing it in a way that really honors you as a female and not necessarily something that burns you out in the process. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the things. So we put together the retreat. So it's going to be a 4-day, 3-night retreat. Mm-hmm. It's all inclusive. That was one of our big things, is we didn't want you to worry about food, lodging, any of those extra expenses for this. But we really wanted you to be able to come into what we consider a safe space. We wanted to bring you back to nature. We wanted to be able to provide activities and quiet time for you to just get to renewed in the process and not be on such a demand for everything. Yes, we'll have time for scheduling certain things because that's important inside of here. Yes. But there's also times for you to rest, for you to connect with other women in business and really have those authentic conversations that are often missing from traditional business retreats and workshops, because again, it's all geared towards let's get you in, let's get you a proven roadmap, a guide, a setup, and stuff like that. But it doesn't take into account, at least for women, what we deal with the moment we step back home with our spouses, with our children, with our significant others, with our friends, within our business world. And that's where we said, okay, this is no longer okay.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited because we found a venue that is just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this.
We talked with the owner. So this is her first year creating it, but she is a wealth of knowledge. And she's like, I really want to help put together a safe space. So it's in the forest. So it is there. It's got multiple buildings on there. You will be sharing a room. There are options if you want to do a single, but it is really about building that community, building that sisterhood, building those relationships with each other. So it's set up to be more of a collaboration space. There are multitudes of opportunities, everything from cold plunge, sauna, pool, hikes, nature walks. There's so much involved in this area, which is something we were looking for too, because we didn't want to be in a hotel environment and then have to create those extra activities. We wanted you to give this space to really let go and reconnect back again. So that was really important to us in finding locations that were which were big enough to host people. So the one thing that you have to be aware of is that we can only bring 12 women. So these are small retreats. They're not mass events. They're really set up to have you connect with those around you. So we're limiting these retreats to just 12 women. And so that you create a more intimate experience, we can get more one-on-one work with you. We can answer a lot more questions. Definitely you will bring your computer to do some tech work as we go through designing your business. At the same time, we're going to ask you to unplug from your technology too. So yes, there is Wi-Fi there. It's not totally excluded from everything, but the idea behind this is really to get you back into the flow of honoring yourself, what your business looks like. We're going to be providing food for you, so you don't even have to worry about having that. If you have any dietary restrictions, that's not a problem. I'm a former chef. I've dealt with a lot of allergies. But this is really meant to be both a challenging week for you, because we're going to bring up a lot of miseducation. That doesn't serve women. And so when you look at what we're redesigning here, this retreat is really about women in business. So wherever you're at, whether you're just getting started, you're in the business and you're like, man, I just need time to reevaluate. And you've been trying to do it at home. You've been trying to redesign your business. You've been trying to get that quiet space to really look at what's important to you and how do you want to weave this into your life. Now is your opportunity to experience that in a safe place and really be vulnerable about what it is that you're designing in your business and what are your roadblocks and what are your beliefs around being a woman in business, because I know we have them. We absolutely have them. But this is going to be an extraordinary event.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So excited.
I love this location. So it's in South Georgia. So for those of you that can travel to this, it is open. So it's not just limited to the members of Truth Bomb Academy. We do for this first couple of them, we are opening it up to business women that we meet or women that hear about this online, because we want to bring together, and we've got women from everywhere. We've got women that have brick and mortar businesses, women that have coaching businesses, women that are in, oh my gosh,
dog breeding
businesses. Like we do have an open policy, because here's what I've learned over the years is that when we get so specifically locked in with one group of women in one type of business, we miss out on hearing how other women build businesses. And it's so critical to have that cross-pollination of information. So if you're talking with coaches, trust me, brick and mortar can learn something from the coaching industry, product development industry, digital course creation, breeders, like all of that, because what we are really wanting to emphasize is that it's about being the female in the business, and it's not necessarily about the business you're in. It's about being a female in that business and designing a business that fits with your lifestyle, that syncs with your system, and that is a little bit different from what we typically see in the world of business. Everyone wants to get really niched down for this. But one of the things that I found is that when I talk to real estate agents, when I talk to insurance agents, when I talk to fractional HRs, when I talk to women in different areas, we have so much more in common than we think, even though we're in different industries, and we have so much we can learn from each other about how we're building our businesses to really find that flow and that sync. So I think the more cut off you get and you try to be with just one group of people that are in your business, while it is important, learning to hear from other women in different industries also holds the key to understanding what type of business you want to run and how you want to run it.
Yeah. So one of the best things I love about when women get together is how many different ideas we share with each other, and things that it's just like, because I experience this in motherhood a lot, but I also experience it in business. And it's like when you get together with other moms, you learn things that work with children that you hadn't even thought about before. And it's the same thing with your business. You will hear things that other women are incorporating. You're like, and you can incorporate those ideas into your business if it fits.
Yeah.
And so many different ways of doing things, or just expressions of things. It's fascinating to me when I get together with other women and the ideas that I hear that other women are incorporating. I'm like, that's fantastic. And it's like, and how I can see that working in my business.
Yeah. Because I think there's no one right way to build a business, but I do know that women are asking for a different way in which to build businesses. I honestly know for the women I work with, and even for myself, I'll speak about myself, I want to be able to have that flexibility. I want to be able to build boundaries inside of my business, so I know what days I'm working, what days I'm not working, taking weeks off, taking months off, but not only for myself, but as a model that other women can mimic in terms of how they're building their business. Because that is really a key component for me, is that it's not so much showing you or telling you in concept, it's actually modeling for you that we built a very successful business following our unique female cycles. And then how that transitioned into building, the academy, into building Unlocking My Millions, into building out these retreats. It was that it all had to make sense for how women approach business, and it had to be less analytical. Even though we know we need that push, that masculine energy to get things done, we also needed to sit more in our creative energy and really honor ourselves and what we're dealing with on our emotional level, so that we were confident and authentic to walk into our business and say, yeah, I'm the CEO, yeah, I'm doing this, and not have that doubt about stepping into those roles. Because there's a lot of things women already are doing in leadership roles in their homes that they don't think translate into the corporate world, but in reality are a massive piece of what the corporate world is missing.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a really interesting thing. So for those of you that haven't gone into this, definitely follow us. If you're listening to us on our podcast, head over to truthbombmarketing.com. learn more about our retreats, learn more about Unlocking My Millions. And definitely, if you're not inside the Truth Mom Academy, join now. There's a free download for this. We've made this available to all women to really start and open up this conversation. So we look forward to seeing you more and more here inside the Academy and really getting to know you, your business, and supporting you in honoring that cyclical way that women build businesses instead of just being in the to-do list of building your business.
Yeah.
So with that, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Thanks for jumping in. And for those that are watching us live inside the Truth Mom Academy, I know we had some technical glitches, but we'll continue to work those out. And for those that are listening on our podcast, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.